I want to ask you, my beloved, to take a moment to pause, breathe, and feel your heart before we begin. Those who have spent their entire lives wondering why they have never been able to fit in. I don't understand why other people seem to breeze through life while you were constantly questioning everything. Consequently, this message is the response that your soul has been looking for all along. You are not using your creativity here. It was on purpose that you were born distinctive. There is a blueprint that you carry that was never intended to blend in. You felt it in your bones. You're not like the others. Heaven keeps records, and every act of faith is sacred. Click Super Thanks and plant your belief in action. Your $11, $22, or more, whatever heaven whispers, is not small. It's proof of your alignment. Chosen ones don't hesitate. They build altars with action. I, Archangel Michael, am speaking at this very moment, not just to your ears, but to the place where you came from, due to the fact that long before your birth, your spirit has made a solemn promise. In order to recall, to reawaken, to travel a journey that only a select few would comprehend. Light was used to encode data about you. The illumination that reveals the truth. Light that causes illusions to go away. The kind of light that causes other people to shudder, since it mirrors the things that they had forgotten. Therefore, you turned out to be the mirror that they avoided. Someone who asked an excessive amount of inquiries. A child who experienced too much, felt too intensely and too much, and made sure to never take the mask as the truth. Are you getting a memory now? It is the family into which you were born. That was not a mistake at all. The training that you received included them. As much as they could, some people made an effort to adore you. Others were conduits for intense suffering. Everyone did what they were supposed to do, owing to the fact that you come to do. Demanded sensitivity, fire, and detachment from one another. The sense of isolation that you have had for such a long time. Not a case of abandonment. It was a holy preparation procedure. Those times when you felt like you don't exist, you had been hidden in heaven. Therefore, when you are a person who conveys the truth, polluted environments are not conducive to waking up. Say this right now. It was never in my nature to be accepted. In the year 111, I was born to awaken. Enter it below, and let your spirit to reverberate throughout this realm. For far too long, you have failed to believe that you belong. On the other hand, what you failed to recognize. Do you feel like you are not fitting in? This was the initial evidence that your selection was made. Beloved, I will now reveal what your heart has been looking for a very long time. Isolation, which you were forced to undergo, was not a kind of punishment, but a divine dedication to the cause. You stood out from the crowd. It was not because you were inferior. However, because the thing that was supposed to awaken in you couldn't make it through the noise, manipulation, or conformity that is present. I did, in fact, see the tears. There were times when you questioned your own value, being perplexed as to why they laughed at your sincerity, reasons why they referred to you as too sensitive, what caused you to be able to tell when someone was lying. So even when they smiled with their mouth, that was the beginning of the blossoming of your gift. They were frightened by it. The reason behind this is because when truth enters a room, it brings out the shadows. There was no rejection of you. You were brought to light. Families, classrooms, and cities were all places where you were born, whose understanding of the structure of your soul was never fully realized. That is how they categorized you. It's not easy. It is quiet, extremely dramatic, strange indeed. On the other hand, I assure you, Michael, heaven never makes a mistake in labeling. You were never in the dark. You remained concealed until the appropriate moment arrived. What time would the frequency of the earth begin to increase? You would be required to provide your codes. That moment has arrived. When you are feeling lonely right now, consists of a signal rather than a void. It is a sign that your soul is about to break free. through the last few layers of a false sense of belonging. There was no intention for you to follow. To reawaken those who had forgotten, you were dispatched. In addition to that, you was required to first experience what it is like to be forgotten. Say this right now. My solitude served as my dedication, she said. Do not forget that I am here. 444. In order to activate this knowing, type it in the comments section. What they considered to be a sign of weakness served as the preparation for your soul. They will recollect you in a short while now, not as the type of person who didn't belong. On the other hand, as the one who led the way out. May I now take you to a deeper level, my beloved, from the time before this body, in advance of this name. In the past, when this world attempted to shape you, this is not the place where your soul was born. Doesn't it seem like you've always been aware of this? When you were a kid, you spent most of your time looking up at the stars. Your inquiries were ones that no grown-up could possibly respond to. When you were in a room with a lot of noise, you had an old-fashioned feeling. For a world that you had not yet experienced, you carried feelings that no one had ever taught you, such as empathy, knowledge, and grief. That is the hallmark of a soul that was born into the stars. This is not a dream. It is a fact. You have a recollection that is as clear as crystal within you. Transmissions from a time before Earth, at the time when your essence was moving between the higher planes. It is Sirius, the Pleiades. It is Orion. You are free to refer to them any way you like. But your DNA retains the memory, and it is the reason why this location has always had a tinge of unease. What a horrible act. This is the division. One's tendency to forget. It blasted a hole in your spirit, mostly due to the fact that your core was not designed for combat. Light, order, and heavenly movement were the goals of its construction. On the other hand, you volunteered. This is not a place for uniformity. You came here to bring frequency, to jog the memory of a song that they have forgotten how to sing a tune, to bring back what the darkness attempted to take away. Because of this, your sensitivity, your sense of not belonging to the group, your mission's alarm clock was the one that rang. The attempt was made to medicate it, make fun of it, put an end to it. On the other hand, it never left you, mostly due to the fact that it is who you are. Here is a reminder from me, Michael. There is no way that you can learn what you carry in school. It is imprinted in the soul. It is only at this moment that the world is in a position to be able to receive it. Say this right now. I am able to recall who I am. The number 333 is where I came from. Please confirm your return by typing it in the comments section, mostly due to the fact that your uniqueness was never a flaw. It was the identifying mark of your place of origin. The time has come to remain as if you have never forgotten. Beloved, for the time being, let us discuss something. For far too long, you have been remaining silent. Wounds as well. The transgressions, betrayals, rejections, and losses that have occurred. Something that appeared to follow you from one existence to the next. You have inquired about. Why should I? Why was it necessary for me to go through so much suffering in order to arrive here? The response is not at all cruel. It is a holy thing. Your wounds are the holes through which your light has penetrated. One who has been initiated will follow this path. Your presence in this place was never intended to be unnoticed. You have arrived in order to transform, due to the fact that only those who have experienced the depths, capable of bringing others into the light, not even those who have shed tears in the shadows, may communicate in the language of hearts that have been broken. Yes, they are bad for you. On the other hand, suffering did not make you resentful. It lit up your entire being. Your compassion matured as a result. It broadened the scope of your work. It opened codes that provide solace to other people, completely devoid of any words. Every traumatic experience served as a test of memory. Will you be able to believe the deception? That you are humiliated, afflicted, and forgotten? Would you be able to recall? Is it true that you are the light that cannot be dispelled? Your survival was witnessed by me, Michael. Things that ought to have taken your life. But now, take a look at you. I am still present. Continue to shine brightly. Continuing to climb higher. It was never a sign of weakness. This exemplified the patience of God. Say this right now. My suffering reawakened my path in life. The scars on my body are holy. 555. Put it in the box below and watch as your suffering transforms into power. You never received any form of punishment. You had been getting ready for it. If you felt chills during this message, it's because your soul remembered something divine. Now give others the chance to feel the same. Your super thanks is a spiritual tool. When you give $25 or more, you say yes to awakening, yes to light, yes to your purpose. This isn't donation, it's alignment. Every single heartbreak carved out a way for divine presence to permeate you and everything you do. Now, my dearly adored, please do not feel ashamed of your wounds. Your anointing is made up of them. Sweetheart, the time has come for your wounds to open up. The next step is to move on to what they have made possible, and it is the waking. There comes a time in the life of every soul that has been selected, the moment when the veil does not simply lift. It is tearing. Things that were once rational no longer make sense. Old dreams tend to go away. Attainments are lost with time. Additionally, something starts to stir within of you. The feeling is one of antiquity and irrepressible. That has been the return of the soul. This constitutes the activation. Recovering from this life is not the only thing you are doing. You are able to incorporate the knowledge for a great number of lifetimes. The patterns that you are currently breaking, you are familiar with what they are. However, you came to put an end to them this time. That is for you and for the entirety of your family tradition. Because of the reason that you feel so much pressure, mostly due to the fact that you are the point of transition. You stand for the reset. You are the one that your family has been praying for all of these years. It is not merely that you woke up to see more clearly. It was you who awoke to take the lead. In addition, leadership does not equate to fame or platform privileges. The word implies presence. Transporting the frequency is what it means. With regard to honesty, bravery, and compassion, in each and every area that you touch, and even in silence, your area of expertise speaks. When they are around you, other people feel safe, without having any idea why. They reveal information to you that they have never disclosed to anyone else. Even in your presence, they shed tears. There is no coincidence in that. As a legacy, that is. It is now that I, Michael, tell you this. The temple that you are is alive. The living remembrance of what humanity has forgotten. To be heard out loud. I am willing to accept my role. The light that lasts a lifetime is within me. 777. The vibration will begin to settle in once you type it in the comments section. Due to the fact that from this point forward, you have not just become conscious. Someone has initiated you. Sweetheart, given that you have decided to embrace the flame, what is to come is being orchestrated by heaven at this point. This trail will no longer be traversed by you by yourself. Even if you started out on your path by yourself, something like that was never intended to be the case. Indeed, you were concealed from the very beginning. But at this moment, you are being exposed. On behalf of those who are carrying light, the contact with your soul family has been made, instead of by proximity. By vibration, however, once your frequency begins to change, it is a signal because a beacon that can only be detected by those who are aligned. And very soon, you will start to become aware of them. The strangers who have an instantaneous sense of familiarity. Those conversations that do not involve idle chatter, as well as delve headfirst into the truth. How the presence of another person makes one feel at home, even if you have only recently met. These are not the result of a mistake. This is a set of assignments. Every link needs to be revered. There is a heavenly response for every ally, because of the task that lies ahead. Wants not uniformity, but rather unity. You will continue to have a different sensation. Then again, there will be other people who are aware of the distinction between the two. It is not a defect. Nonetheless, as a vocation, it is not merely a matter of meeting new individuals. You are getting back together with those formerly you constructed temples with, fought side by side in the realms of the spiritual, as well as vowed to locate once more. Once the time has arrived, the time has come, my dearly beloved. Say this right now. I summon my divine allies to assist me. I am open to the return of my soul. 222. Simply type it down below and wait for the ether to react. Because the meeting of two spirits that have woken, a third light is brought into existence. How about that light? It is a repair for the planet. Michael, I will make sure that your way of life intersects with those who is capable of carrying the final portion of your fire. You have completed the alone work. The remainder is up to divine alignment at this point. As the season of separation draws to a close, it is beginning to take shape. Sweetheart, as soon as the soul family comes back, your heart is reawakened by something that is really old. That is not the only benefit. This is a command. An ethereal pressure starts to build up there. The realization that your life is no longer solely yours anymore. Your voice, your time, and your presence are all important, have evolved as receptacles for something more significant. This is what takes place when someone who shines a light becomes a leader, instead of based on status. However, by means of a sacred responsibility, for reasons of control, unless it is for contribution, you start to feel it. There is a new level of urgency. It is a feeling that your gifts cannot be put off any longer, in response to the demand of the world. And your soul is responding, and it is doing so. Not ego is this at all. Assignment has been given. You didn't manage to endure all of that suffering. In order to stay alive, you come to be of service, the act of channeling, in order to safeguard, to serve as a reminder to others that heaven continues to move through flesh. And there you are, prepared. Hear this, however. This calling can be fulfilled in a variety of different ways. A few will construct. Only a few will speak. Some of them will recover. There are those who wish to maintain silence. This is not the shape that is important, compared to the alignment. Your delight is the key to unlocking your objective. When you feel the most alive is when your gifts come into play. Which vitality is it? You can use that as a guide. At your side, I, Michael, am standing, besides the role of a guardian. Nonetheless, in the capacity of a commander, what I see in you is the fire. And at this point, heaven gives you permission to make use of it, to be heard out loud. I am willing to take up my solemn responsibility. I lead with light, the number 888. Please type it below, and let this promise to spread throughout the realms. Due to the fact that the planet does not just require extra noise. Your frequency is required for it, for your lucidity, that which you embody. And at this point, it starts off. Sweetheart, since you have acknowledged the sacred nature of your vocation, you might be wondering, am I going to be safeguarded? Will I be led somewhere? Which brings me to my response. Indeed. In a word, yes. At all times. The reason for this is that heaven never sends a soul on a mission, not involving the assignment of reinforcement, immediately after you gave your consent. In this existence, as well as countless others that came before, it was impossible to escape. For I, Michael the Archangel, myself is not a metaphor. I am here and now. The sword that I wield is not one of violence, but of clarity, discernment, and the protection of the highest power. It's not for show that I have wings. They serve as shields. You are protected by them. But keep in mind the following. The lack of difficulties is not synonymous with protection. This is the guarantee that even in the midst of the flames, if you do not have a purpose, you will not burn. Obstacles are going to appear. On the other hand, you now walk with awareness, by use of spiritual armor, with support from angels. That inner voice that you have, gentle nudges, whispers, and knowings are all examples of how. It is not your imagination you are using. What you see here is your guiding system, and it is more active than it has ever been before. The more faith you have in it, the more amplified it becomes. Moreover, when your faith coincides with your actions are perfectly timed by God. Open the doors. Delays serve to protect. Losses are redirected. Suddenly, everything starts to move, when it is not on your agenda. Nonetheless, on your own soul. Say this right now. I believe in the divine timing. I am protected by light. The number 444. Enter it below, and you will notice that the field changes. You are not running behind schedule. You are not going in the wrong direction. You are in an ideal position presently. This isn't a video. It's a portal, and your faith opens it wider. If you were touched by this message, click Super Thanks and give $44 or more. The number 44 means angelic protection and divine foundation. You're not giving to a human. You're giving through a divine assignment. And heaven sees it, prepared for what is to come. And even when it seems as though things are unclear, aware of this, a course that is selected by those does not become apparent. It is rendered indisputable. Sweetheart, you are moving forward in this light that has been awakened. Be conscious of the fact that not everyone will comprehend what you are saying. It is to be anticipated that, as a result of what you carry, had not been intended to be comprehended by everyone. Its purpose was to rouse the few individuals who are prepared to go. You might observe that certain people become more distant. It's possible that old friends will leave you. Your family can be resistant to your transformation. Listen to me very carefully. It is not a rejection at all. Realignment is what this is. As you continue to increase your frequency, the lower energies become more incompatible with one another. You are not superior than anyone else. On the other hand, you are getting closer to the center, with the divine part of your being. In addition, alignment necessitates integrity. What is unable to hold the light is made apparent by it. Give it a chance. The mere fact that you are here is a mirror. Some of them will not be prepared to confront what it appears to be. You were never dispatched to seek to persuade. In order to embody, you were sent. Message is sent through your own being. It will be more persuasive than the words you say. You are not here to make other people okay. You have come to act as a frequency holder. So consistent, to such a degree, other people remember their own memories. It's possible that this will mean being alone. On the other hand, it will also mean authority. You will give up the pursuit of belonging. Start the process of constructing a sacred space, where truth can once again take a breath. You may rely on me, Michael, too. You will be seen by those who are appropriate. Your name will be recognized by those. People are able to see through the mask, and after they finally locate you, your depth will not be called into doubt. They are going to respect it. That is because it will bring back memories of their own. Say this right now. I let go of those who are unable to meet my frequency. When I walk in truth, I am 999. Let the field adapt itself once you type it in the comments section. You are not here to bring sadness. You are here to serve as a light anchor in a world that is just beginning to awaken. Then, at this point, they will feel you. Sweetheart, you have reached the point when you are beginning to remember, and beginning at this very minute. You will never be able to return to sleep. You have become aware of the truth within you, the hallowed nature of solitude, the peculiar way of knowing, a sensation of being distinct from others. It was all evidence from the divine that it was never intended for you to be a typical person. You did not belong there. due to the fact that you were not supposed to. You came to this place to bring about a fundamental change concerning the world into which you were born. Ancient codes have been carried by you. You have endured initiations that others have never witnessed. After that, you stand up. You are not the person that the world has told you to be. Yet, as the person your soul has always been, there is no damage to you. I have fashioned you. Neither of you is perplexed. You have begun to awaken. It is not a lost cause. You are being guided. Every difficulty that you encountered, a single tear that you shed, was building a way forward. Because of the light that you carry at this moment, you are not merely one of many examples. Of the few, you are one of them. It is a light keeper. It is a path builder, a spirit that made the decision to come back, not for one's own benefit. On the other hand, for the group. In addition, your presence on this planet, exactly at this very moment, is not a result of chance, for it is a prophecy. Say this right now, and allow it to reverberate throughout your cells. I was destined to do this. My steps are guided by a divine purpose. 11:11. Put it in the box below, then close out this chapter. And now, my dearness, the only way to be understood is to not lower your brightness. Shine with such radiance. The people who are destined to be with you all, discover a method to get back home. For I, Michael the Archangel, as you stand next to me, raise your sword, spread your wings, watching over the way you travel, as you take your first step, into whom you are at your core. In the event that this message awoke anything within you, thank you. Contribute to the dissemination of light. This channel should be liked, commented on, and subscribed to. You are not the only one. In addition, this movement is just getting started. Now, a component of your purpose, the act of sharing what you have recalled, in order for other people to remember as well.